First question really is, what is the new norm in tourism in Hungary? What are the biggest changes that you've seen happen and you think will happen in the next few years?
So actually, really, it's many things changed in a couple of years because the 2019, the COVID came in our lives, so it's changed in a basic of tourism. So how we are traveling, how we are booking, how long we are traveling, how far we are traveling. So actually, everything changed a lot. So now we can see that the booking window is shorter. So this means that before the pandemic, we already know a couple of months or more weeks before the arrival of the tourists, so we had the data. Now, actually, we see the data, but the booking window is just a couple days. So I have an example for this. So we already have the data of October. So last year, the tourism was 2.9 million overnights. And we already see that 1.7 million people are coming in October, but actually this is not the real number because in the last minutes the people are booking. Another trend is we have some new words in the tourism. We have the pleasure, so it means business and leisure. So the new norm that we are traveling because of business and we are staying there a couple of days longer, so we stay there longer. And the other one is a vacation. So because of COVID, the home office came to our lives, so it's not necessary to work in a specific place, in an office place. So the digital nomad are traveling and working from different countries. So this is also a different aspect of tourism.
And right now, what are the most crucial issues? What are the big issues facing Hungarian tourism?
Yeah, I think everybody knows that now the biggest issues is the energy crisis. So we are facing another level of crisis, and there will be a difficult time for the tourists. But actually, what we are saying that all the sectors need a basic change. So how the regarding of the opening hours or the strategy how to reach the consumers, the tourists, and this is how we can also help with the tourism agency, the data-driven marketing decisions. And actually, we have many tools in our hands. And now in this week, we announced that the data national data system, in Hungarian name NTAC, has a new tool. So the Compass, it's all the hospitality sector has now the tool to get the information about the consumers or about the tourists. They have the data about the upcoming tourists, so they can target their marketing campaigns or sales strategy more efficient.
So what's the Hungarian Tourism Agency's strategy then on data management? I know for you this is very important, as you said earlier, we were talking behind the stage that much of the infrastructure is now in place. We've got a great place like here in the Zeneháza. We've got some fantastic new hotels in Budapest. So you've got more infrastructure, but now you're focusing on marketing. How does data come into your strategy?
Yeah, you are right. So we have so many beautiful buildings in Hungary, and a couple of years was the focus point was on the development. So we needed the infrastructure, and now we have the infrastructure. And also, as I mentioned, this NTAC system is really important. So in 2019, that was the implementation of this data supply center. And from this point, we got all the data from the hotels, from the accommodations, and that means that it's aggregated data. So we actually haven't got the profile of the tourists, but we know about the age, we know about where are they coming. So because of all this data, we can base our marketing and sales campaign. And I have to say, this is a really specific and special things in Hungary because other countries haven't got this specific data. So we are really lucky to have this and to work with this data. So if we are thinking about the marketing campaigns, a couple of months we started analyzes the data. So which countries are our main targeted countries, where the most of the tourists are coming from, what are they searching for, so what is the aim of the travel, so are they searching for buildings like this, or are they going to the spas. So we have all these data. So our autumn campaign is the international and also the national campaign is based on data. So also within examples. So we know that the US travelers are really care about the building heritage, the culture. So in this case, the US campaign is about the building heritage. So everywhere, so last week is already in the Times Square, big advertising to come and see how beautiful building we have. But also we know that the Czech travelers are traveling because the most important thing to why they are traveling is the spas. So they have a different commercial for that or different messaging for them. And also here in Hungary, so we also did a big analysis. Which side of the country is the important why the people are traveling. So we have the wine and the gastronomy films, so maybe you already see in advertising that we would like to show that it's how many places you can visit in Hungary because of this.
Yeah. Sokszor azt mondtam, hogy Budapest nem Magyarország, Magyarország nem Budapest. And I think, having spent time studying outside in Pécs, Debrecen, that's the question, of course, that most foreign visitors come to Budapest. Not very many of them from maybe outside of this part of Europe travel elsewhere. Your marketing campaign, will you be looking to try to get more people to go beyond the 7th district, more people beyond Budapest?
Yeah, it's a goal. Every time is a goal. And we have a new marketing program. So actually we created 11 marketing destinational region. So if we can see the map of Hungary, so as I mentioned the last 6 years was about the developments. And if we have the map of Hungary and we put on different layers on the map, maybe where are the restaurants, where are the attractions, where are the accommodation. In this case, we can see where the most points are. So those are the touristic region of Hungary. So this 11 touristic region, we are using in the marketing campaigns. So mostly in the neighborhood countries. So we have to say that we can segment our targeted groups. So the neighborhood countries are able to travel to the countryside. And we are also using in our marketing campaign Budapest for those destinations where the association of Hungary is more about Budapest. And we also have different messages to those countries who are more associating to our country through our country name, Hungary.
And in terms of where you go from here, obviously there are challenges facing all of us, whether you're in tourism or not tourism, in regional developments, energy prices, cost of living. But of course, one of the big issues that face people, particularly in tourism sector, has been the exodus of tourism talent. People seem to have disappeared from hotels, restaurants, airports. What are those? How are you sort of addressing those issues, those labor issues?
Yeah, this is one of our biggest issues. So, I think after the energy crisis, this is really big challenge for the sector because the people are missing. And to our agency strategies is absolutely to promote the sector. So we have different collaborations, different programs like workshops or educational lectures about what is the tourism about. So we have more than 200 videos about the sectors, what is the role, what is the daily basic program, but to do if you are concierge or if you work like housekeeping or in the sales management team. So we know that most of the people don't know about how big is this industry, how big opportunity is in this industry. So the next couple of years will be about the education, how to support, how to improve the part of this.
Yesterday we had here Chris Dinsdale, the CEO of Budapest Airport. And of course we were talking earlier about the importance of the link between the tourism agency and the airport. Tell us about some of the things that you're trying to work on. Because obviously for so many international travelers, Budapest Airport is their entry point into Hungary.
Yeah, so we are working together with the airport because, so if we need a tourist, we need to collaborate with the airport because we need connections to the most important European cities. So we are working on a strategy how to negotiate with the airlines. Our main goal is to connect Budapest to the long-haul destinations too, because the long-haul destinations are really important, and we have the data, and we already know that the US travelers are coming back to Hungary. And other hand, we also have many information about that Asia is also interested in to travel to Hungary, because before the pandemic we have a really good connection with China. So those connections, those long-haul connections, are together with the airlines. So now, based on our data and based their data, because they have also a big amount of data, we are trying to get more connections in the European countries, European cities, so more frequent flights to those are also hubs, travel hubs, so where the long-haul flights came to Europe, so like Munich, Frankfurt, or Amsterdam. Those are really important places. So now we are trying to get more and more flights during the autumn and the winter season. And our goal, the long-term goal, is to have more and more direct flights. But Monday will be a big announcement to the Korean airlines. So from Monday, we have direct flights to Korea once a week, to Budapest, Seoul. So those are really important milestones in the Hungarian tourism.
We were talking also with Chris yesterday about sustainability in the aviation sector. I mean, I think he was making the point that actually it'll be difficult in the next 10 to 20 years to see truly sustainable aviation, because we don't yet have the alternative fuels. But it does beg the question whether short-haul flights, should we be seeing fewer short-haul flights and maybe more train services, particularly, for example, for your customers, your tourists coming in from Central or other parts of Europe? Should we be seeing more train travel?
Yeah, this trend is started in 2019, or after 2019 in 2020, because of COVID. So the shorter destinations, the shorter reachable destinations are more important since that, and it's still a trend, I have to say. And I think yesterday was also the topic that it's really not easy to travel now by airplanes, but it's still a big amount of tourists are coming there. But I have another example how we, with the tourism agency, wants to support to travel by train. Is a younger generation, and it's also connected to the other topic you asked me. So we have really nice project. The name is Kaila, the dog, Vizsla. I think you know the Vizsla. So this is a really lovely project, how we would like to connect the really young generation, the children, to the tourism. So in this case, the age between 6 and 12, the children has the opportunity to travel by train for free. And they have so many activities through the countries. So we would like to support the families to make shorter trips. We have with the Kaila different programs in the different cities like Veszprém or Budapest. So through the Kaila eyes, the children will love to travel, to get more information about the country, about our nation.
And so associated to some extent with that is this permanent sort of question, quantity versus quality. You want more high quality tourism here, but is that at the expense of numbers of people? And I ask this question because when I was British ambassador, one of the issues that we had were people in the 7th district who lived there weren't very happy with the huge numbers of stag and hen parties that came here through Airbnb. So it's a subject which I know many people in Budapest are concerned about. So quality versus quantity.
I'm happy for this question because honestly, before COVID, our main goal was the quality. Because we try to build the infrastructure ready to be a quality tourism. But after that, this whole sector struggled a lot. So now I have to say that our main goal to have the tourists, the quantity.
Yes.
So if we have the tourists, we have everything. So I think in this case, now our focus point to have the tourists. And in May, as I was promoted for this role, the CEO of the tourism agency just announced to the sectors, the professionals of the sectors, that my goal is to get here the tourists. Yeah. So I have to say, in a future, absolutely the goal will be the quality. But now, the main goal is the quantity, to get more and more tourists here, because absolutely the next couple of months will be really hard for the whole sector, not only for the accommodation, the hotels, also to the restaurants, everybody, the attractions. So it's now the time that we need international tourists who are spending here, who will stay in a hotels, who are going to the restaurants. So this is the most important thing in the next couple of months, and this is how the tourism agency can help, because with our big marketing campaigns and our sales strategy is the opportunity to get here the tourists. And we have also cooperation with newspapers, media like CNN. We have cooperation with the Monocle. We have cooperation with the National Geographic. And through this options and partnerships, we want to highlight of Budapest or Hungary in a different targeted groups. So this is how we can help in the industry.
And looking ahead, in an ideal world, obviously there are lots of issues at the moment, but in an ideal world, where would you want to see Hungarian tourism, let's say in 5 years' time? What would be your perfect picture of Hungarian tourism in a few years' time?
Yeah, we have numbers what we want to reach. So I have some numbers if you are interested, because we already see that before the pandemic. So in 2019, the whole year overnights was 42 million overnights. And compare that the year after, so 2022, that number almost halved, so 23 million was there that time. So 2021 was higher, it's 29 million overnights, and now our goal in this year is 37. So we will almost reach the 42. So in a short-term strategy, our goal to reach the 2019 level. After that, we have also the strategy of the 2030 strategy. It's a really our main strategy for tourism. In this case, we have the GDP part, and our goal is to have the 16% of GDP came from this sector. And the next couple of months will be really challenging also because not only because the energy prices, but also we will have in the data system, as I mentioned, the NTAC, all the restaurants and the attractions will have to collect data. So this is also a new part and new opportunity for the whole tourism, that we will have also the data about the restaurants and the attractions, where the people are going, what they are consume, or how much they spend for the restaurants.
And what would your final message be to the audience today?
It's really not easy just get to have just one message, but maybe about the sustainability, because I know it's really important thing. So now the sustainability in tourism is a really important topic, and the next generation is who has the role to make the tourism sustainable, because we are trying, and the whole sector are trying to be sustainable, but if the new generation is focusing the sustainability aspect of the whole tourism, and if the whole tourism sector will be recovered, and the next generation and the leaders of the next generation will be there with the sustainability mindset, this is the new opportunity in the tourism sector.
Well, we know that for Generation Z and Generation Y, sustainability is the second most important issue after cost of living, ahead of health and ahead of jobs. In practical terms, what would you see as maybe being the one thing that would make tourism in Budapest or Hungary more sustainable? Is there one particular thing or a couple of things that you would focus on?
Yeah, so I have to say this is not the first things to do now, to focusing on the sustainability. But through the spas, I think this is the most understandable part, how the spas can be sustainable. So also the question of quality or quantity. Yeah. There will be, so we, as a tourism agency, we recommended to the European Fund that the next edition of the European Fund will be a spas, big fund for the spas, the renovation, the improve the energetic part of the spas. So in this case, the goal is not to have more and more spas. The goal is to have the certain spas, but a better quality of the water. The system of the water will be less use of the water, or with the filters, with the new filters, will be less consume of the toxic, cleaning system. So this is something that could be in the future a big help for the sustainability part.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very big thank you to Zsófia.
Thank you very much.